great for them. Cajun B, though, is having an absolute field day. Guys, they're going live into the pistol round, so we might just jump into that one. But, hey, Overpass, Dignitas' pick. It's going to be rough.
Lego. Basically, for Flipside here, they got to hold on and pray that Dignitas don't come to play like they did in the last map, but I don't see much chance of that happening as Blade's got a lot of utility. He's got 4 grenades on pistol round. Wow, that's a decoy. Smoke, a couple of flashes there, and he's going to definitely throw something towards the B side of things here as all the members of the Flipside team make themselves known at B, but not quite yet. They're not going to advance there just yet.
Dignitas set up though on their CT side with a massive focus towards long at this A bomb site, and they've got 3 currently over towards B. So it's tasked for Blade at the moment. He holds the key to the round. You can see wherever he goes with that bomb, he's actually going to be setting up the round. So he's got all the utility for them. He's already used that decoy. It probably wasn't to too much effect, but B is going to be the object of the affection of Flipside here.
Yeah, well did it, and Blade making their way back towards B now. So just the 1 smoke and 2 flashbangs here for Flipside. Nothing really giving this away though, which I like here for Flipside. They're going to really catch Team Dignitas here by surprise. Note the jig's up now as all the blue dots move towards the B bomb site. It will be well dead and rolling up there, picking up the first one onto Config. That's a nice start to the round. Well dead, it picks up a second, but the trades come in thick and fast here for Dignitas as well. Nope, Shara's going to pick up MSL, and now it's 3 versus 1 here for Matchday. A very winnable round here, but he's got to get one pretty quickly, and he does onto Blade. 6 shot there through the corner of the box. And
it's winnable because they were peeking at him too, so individually taking those fights, and you can't do that against Matchday. He now makes his way around the site. He's taking a bit of damage, but hasn't gone down yet. Does take down Markolov, and it's forced to 1 versus 1 with Shara. Shara knows he's low. 2 HP on Matchday. Needs to land a shot, not able to do so. Great round from Flipside Tactics. That flash from Blade caught 2 members of Dignitas off guard, and the trades came out in favor of Flipside there, so they were able to go on to B, force their way in, get that plant, and Matchday gave Dignitas a little bit of hope, but it's a good start from Flipside.
Certainly is, but that won't stop Dignitas from buying into this one either. Flipside Tactics with a great pistol around there. Nice patience being shown. Well at it. Getting some control of those A, I guess the A long push first, and then falling back towards B and going as a team. But that's a bit of damage there coming out onto World at A with the Scout.
And the Scouts are quite effective on a map like Overpass too. Those long range battles, it can be picked and taken. Can be quite effective when you're taking people off that Scout, but that is a very effective way of taking heads off there. Config does take down Shara.
Config does take down Shara with a sick deagle headshot there, and MSL before that gets a CZ 75 kill from medium range there, and now it's a 5 versus 3, and well, if you Flipside, I'm not even sure what they were doing there in Dirty Water. They sent 2 players out there with, I mean, not a lot of support. They didn't really flash. They didn't really Molotov. You win the pistol in a must-win second match, and you come into that one not really prepared. So they're getting picked off by a more well-rounded Dignitas team here right now. A long way to go though in this round with Waylander with that AK.
I'm going to head towards this B bomb site at the moment. You can see them grouped up quite well. They're going to send those SMGs in first, hopefully, and let Waylander clean up with that rifle. But you can see that's where Dignitas have 3 members posted up.
Certainly is. Dignitas here, ready and waiting for this push, and all 3 members of Flipside are now going to roll in here. They need to make this work. Markolov should find 1, maybe even 2 and 3 if they get the confidence to go up here, but MSL's holding a default line there behind the sandbags, and he'll get the bomb down. Markolov just try and roll in there and get the bomb down, and this will be forced here. 15 seconds to go. That's a great shot there. World Editor picking up 2 quick fire frags there, and now the pressure is back on Dignitas. Jim, beautiful change of momentum there from Waylander and World Edit, but a lot of work to do left for Flipside Tactics.
And World Edit's done a great job there, allowing his teammate to get the bomb down while covering him. So it's on Dignitas here. Cajun B actually picks up Waylander, and that 1B just finishes off the round in style for Dignitas. They did well with that forced buy, and have made Flipside Tactics pay after what was a promising start from Flipside.
It was a promising start. It was a very promising start, and they promised to not be diligent in their anti-ecos in the next round because, again, it's just it's almost laziness. I'm not going to say laziness, but You know, how do you find two players in dirty water by themselves with, you know, the first player that MSL killed with the CZ, he was completely by himself. And then the second player ran in Shara trying to recover the frag with an AK, and then he goes down. So, I mean, it was just so disorganized there from Flipside, and yeah, it doesn't bode well for them. If they're going to play that fast and loose and try and win that way, they've picked the wrong opponent, I feel.
It's just not boding too well for them here. 2 frags go down. SMF takes down Shara, but Shara does get 90 damage onto him, but you can see now, 2 versus 5 situation. Just that Deagle of World Edit with a flash and Markelov with a P250 to contend with, and they're over by the party at the moment, and they're not having too much fun.
No, they are not. Markelov and World Edit trying to pull the proverbial rabbit out of the hat here. If they manage to win this round, I will enter them into Penn and Teller's Fool Us. It's a great show where magicians go to try and fool some of the other world's greatest magicians, but it's not going to be the case. I will not enter this round into that competition because Dignitas have cleaned up all remaining members alive.
Yeah, there was no sleight of hand there at all whatsoever, as we do see Dignitas now starting to build their economy quite well. You can see they've actually opted to keep the scout. Even coming up against the gun round here, wielded it with that AWP, and he'd be key for them. We've said it so many times before, it's a map that would play to his strengths with that scope rifle, but KB's just opting for that scout, so a bit more mobile.
A little bit more mobile, but I think he just backs himself to do a lot of damage with it as well. Not really required to upgrade.
And why wouldn't you after that first map he had on Cobble?
Yeah, that's right. So he's going to be very confident with it, and I guess from his perspective, if he can get a couple of tags off and die without necessarily getting a kill, and they win, it's still worth the investment to keep it going. Keep that scout in play rather than buy that AWP, because then it just delays one extra round. And
that grenade absolutely crushed Blade as well, and it's forced him just to not really advance too much further than those stairs at the party area. But you can see now Flipside are heading back towards this B-bomb site, but there are only 2 members of Dignitas in wait.
There are, but it's going to be Config and Co. It's going to just keep them at bay for just a while. Config picks up one, but the trade comes in. Now, Flipside tactics here, going slow and steady. Blade, after copying that early nade damage, has rotated back towards the toilets, and he picks up a crucial kill there on the rotating MSL, but it's still going to be the B push here for World Edit and his team, and World Edit just scoping through, and he'll find SMF on the edge of that smoke, and that should signify the time in which you can save for the CTs.
He very nearly takes the head off KB's as well through that smoke, so it's quite clear to me that Dignitas aren't going to go for this round. They're just going to try and opt to get a few frags here on the exit, but it's only KB's that's really posted up there. He does take down World Edit, and that means World Edit is not going to take the next fight. He's going to back off. They've won enough. They've won the round, should I say. And if they could just save all their weaponry possible, fantastic work from Flipside. Well worked round. I just think Dignitas were a little bit lackadaisical in not upgrading some weaponry, namely KB's retaining that scout.
Yeah, it was a good entry frag into the B bomb site there from the monster tunnel for Flipside. A couple of the first, back and forwards there. They were in really great positions, and then World Edit was able to pick 1 or 2 players off. Really great job for him, and he's once again leading the scoreboard. 5 kills and 3 deaths in this 2-2 locked scoreline we have here. The AWP now on Cajun. He has upgraded that scout, and so he'll have the AWP in hand to battle World Edit this round. But for starters, he's going to get pretty aggressive along here for KB's. He's going to find a pick, and it will be on World Edit. So AWPA versus AWPA. World Edit seemed to be prepared for that pick as well, but Cajun just too fast. Too much spice.
Yeah, too much spice in that one, but I definitely hinted towards KB's being the more dominant force with that AWP. Head-to-head anyway against World Edit. World Edit was just struggling to get going. It's not easy to do against a player of Cajun's caliber, so it's a losing battle for him at the moment. He needs to turn that back around if Flipside are going to have a chance.
Yeah, he will definitely have to turn that around. Blade picking up that AWP, and I think the spots that he's going to pick are going to have to turn around too. I'm not a huge fan of that one for the Terrorist. There's much better looks you can get on the T side than that. I guess that posted up line at long, because as the mechanics work in CSGO, if you're slightly moving out and taking that aggressive peek, as the CT in that instance was, you're going to get the advantage. And KGB takes full advantage of it, takes him down, and puts Flipside on the deficit. But 40 seconds to go, Jim. They're going to have to decide pretty quickly where they want to go with this. And by the looks of the bomb, it's going to be back towards B eventually.
Yeah, they've left it in an open position to rotate between the two bomb sites at the moment. Depending on whether they get that pick at A, that'll probably dictate whether or not they go there, but you can see they're just working it out. 24 seconds remaining. Bomb's still in middle, and they are committing up mid here, so Magicboy just pinned by that Molotov. Not really too much further he can go as they now put pressure on this A bomb, so Molotovs are good, pushing the CTs back, but Cajun still hits that headshot there onto Markelov. Blade goes down, and you can see the trades are coming out in favour of the CTs at the moment. 3 versus 2 situation. Shara and Waylander need to do work, or it's back to a 2 versus 2. The bomb has gone down. Pressure now lies on Config's shoulders. 2 versus 1. He's been snap headshot by Waylander, and that is a great round from Flipside Tactics. They didn't have a lot of time left to work with, and this is why they're referred to as the miniature Na'Vi, because they leave it late, but they made it work.
Yeah, they did, absolutely, and very impressive here from Flipside. I thought this would be very much one-way traffic, but they've shown they've got a lot of resolve there, and they've come to play. Really good showing so far from them, especially after going down on, winning the pistol round and just, I guess, braving the storm for a while here as Wade and Waylander will battle the oncoming terrorist. Waylander there in a shooting gallery down the staircase. There won't be anything left for Config. Well, then it picks him up. Really great anti-eco there for Flipside. No one goes down.
It looked more like a training map there for Waylander in that instance. He was cool, calm, collected under pressure. You could see all 5 CTs just rushing at them. And Flipside, able to navigate that one quite cleanly.
Yeah, easy money there for Waylander. As you'd expect, the unarmored opponents with pistols versus that positioning with the rifle. Nice and easy, 1, 2, 3. MSL here with his teammates pushing up towards the party in the toilets.
I was going to say it was a nice finish from Waylander.
Certainly was. Certainly was. Config picking up Shara after SMF goes down. So 1-1 trade here. Dignitas continuing to just hold these aggressive lines towards the top end of middle. Party and the toilet block will not be relinquished, and I think that they've sort of cottoned on to the tactic here from Flipside. They're just going to work their way through mid and eventually take short A, which is where they've been devastating the last couple of bomb site hits that they've won. Dignitas, though, making a very quick adjustment and moving their forces towards that area to push Flipside out of it, and it seems to be working right now.
And Blade not checking that angle at the stairs and the connector, so he gets taken down. You can see they are going to try and pursue Waylander. Going to try and find a frag, but the CTs are back right off back towards the B bomb site, leaving Cajun as the solo A site holder. He doesn't have an AWP in his hands this time, though, so it's going to be increasingly difficult for him, but you can see now the rotations come through, and he's in a very forward position there at the toilets, but the pressure from Flipside at the moment is trying to gain control of that mid connector. They do have control at the moment, but they now need to pick one of these bomb sites. 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Magicboy, they're doing a lot of damage onto Markelov before escaping. So Waylander, Markelov, and Welded trapped in this 3 versus 4 right now. They do pick up the bomb and move towards A. 16 seconds to go. They're going to have to get a move on. Mini, Na'Vi, and D. They don't even have time to check the corner. KGB gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Cool, calm, collected, as you said before. Cajun, easy money. He rocks his team onto the 3rd round. Team Dignitas still trailing 3-4, but they did a great job of shutting down that mid attack. It was all about the change in tactic there.
That's a problem too with leaving it late, particularly when you don't actually have a lot of map territory. They didn't have time to check those corners, and that essentially is what led to their downfall in this instance. And Flipside, they had to try and rush into the A bomb site, make the frags, and get the plant all with 13 seconds left. It was too much for them to do. Very aggressive here from Dignitas, though. They pushed all the way out to party.
Yeah, they're starting to feel it a little bit more here, Dignitas, and Magicboy will pick up 1, should get 2, doesn't quite get it, although the blade could be collected by this grenade, doesn't take any further damage. So 1-for-1 trade there, but that suits the terrorists just as much as it suits the CTs right now, often more, but in this case, because of the control that Magicboy was able to get early on, I think that Dignitas now have a decent idea of where the Ts are going to go. But that being said, they've sat way too far back now for the CTs to really have any idea. So that initial push neutralized well by Flipside with the trade frag, and now they have an opportunity here to work themselves back into the round.
Yep, they do, and you can see the boost actually coming up on this B bomb site, so I think it's config on the top of that boost will actually take down Markelov as well. So fantastic work from there. Some ingenuity from Dignitas picking him up that frag, and man advantage goes to Dignitas at the moment. You can see the bomb is all the way back in T-spawn. Shara very forward, away from his teammate, still makes it work, and picks up the frag. That man advantage has been eliminated as we see Flipside make their way back towards that B-bomb side.
Yeah, and the player at the barrels here is going to play a crucial role for Dignitas, because I'm not sure if Shara has seen him. It's Config. And Config does peek out and get the first one. He's well aware of the danger. He gets the second. Lovely shooting there from Config. Just sublime awareness, but also just transfer of aim there. Great play. Flipside players not equal to the challenge there, and now Blade will find this 1 versus 3. He does get a kill there, and at least make it very expensive for Dignitas in this round. So crucial kill there, and valuable kill for Blade.
That's all we could really do in that situation, just trying to make it expensive for them. No real chance of winning the round. I don't think they were ever going to really all run at him with 8 seconds left, but Flipside now have enough money here to buy, and they're going to force into this one. I've actually put Markelov on that Desert Eagle. I'd much rather see him with a rifle, to be fair, but we will see them forcing here, and it's been difficult for them. They haven't had a lot of map territory to work with, and that's the problem when you leave it late. You need that map territory to begin with, and it's simply something they don't have, so they haven't been afforded the luxury of those late executes.
No, they haven't, and Cajun getting some early information there before being flashed out. He wisely falls back, will resume holding the A-bomb site. Now, World Edit and Wayland are making their way up long.
This is a bit better from them too. At least they're taking map territory here, and Cajun does take the first frag down, so Waylander going very cheaply, not able to get any information. Cajun B actually finds a second as well, so it's been expensive for them, trying to take territory away from their opposition. Shara finds a frag on a Magistic Boy, but you can see the CT rotation has been quite swift towards this A-bomb site.
Well, I don't think Flipside have much option left, Jim. They've completely abandoned the whole side of the map at B. You can see where the 3 dots on the radar, and they'll be scared petrified of falling back through any part of the map at this point, so they're going to have to force this A bomb site. But the problem for them is there's just so many members here waiting, because I think Dignitas know exactly what's going on here. But how is this possible? Shara getting 1, gets 2, almost gets 3. Config is now starting to burn his opponents down. He does get a second and probably will finish off Blade here as he works his way around the truck. He does. Config back-to-back rounds of just a sheer force of strength, sheer show of strength, I should say.
The question is, how did Shara sneak into that site? They didn't have their angles covered. They had 2 crosshairs trained on that particular angle, and still he slipped the net. Cajun went down, and it's very expensive for Dignitas despite that win. So the city economy has been capped a little bit by losing so heavily, but Flipside, on the contrary, have actually been put back onto pistols. So it's a double-edged sword.
This is more looking like the game that I thought I'd see. Credit to Flipside for actually coming out and playing really hard through the first 9 rounds, but it's not enough, Jim. You need to play hard for all 30 rounds if you want to stand a chance at this level. We're talking about the collection of some of the world's best players, and when you're in that sort of environment, you can't afford to let these, I guess, inconsistent rounds seep into your game, because it costs you. Every little mistake will be punished by your opposition. That's what Dignitas are doing right now. Cajun B gets 1. He'll need to do way more work, though. I fear for his life as he has to use that pistol to try and defend himself. He does a great job of escaping. I don't know how the terrorists let him get so far away, but he's done enough there to delay the plan. And now Config and SMF will come through and clean up the rest of the kills. Pick up the orb, I think, if it hasn't.
No.
I think it fell off the side of the map.
Yeah, it's behind the barrier.
Unlucky.
That is unfortunate for Dignitas, but you can see as a result of that, they're forced to buy another one, and it's not too cheap at all. Cajun doesn't have any utility whatsoever coming into this gun round from Flipside, so at least he's been hitting his shots. Yeah,
that was a really weird round from Flipside, though. The hardest part about, getting to an AWPer is actually closing the distance, and they did a really great job of closing down onto Config there inside, no, Cajun B inside, sorry, with the AWP. But then once they got right next to him, they all sort of stopped on the other side of the box and let him get back to bank before they eventually took him down. So the hard part was finished. They just needed to convert on the easier part, which is just jumping over the side of the crate. But as of now, 6-4 to Dignitas. they're looking like they're back in the groove that they were in last match. Cajun B doing some great work there, but it's more been about SMF and Config and the way that they've been playing, as well as Cajun B. World Edit and Co. started well, but have been fading through the back half of this first half. Difficult to tell if Flipside will be able to muster energy to get back up and have one more final push here before the end of this half, but as it stands, that will be the first kill coming away for Dignitas. Now Blade gets MSL down, so 4 versus 4 now, but once again, the Dignitas boys in good position to say that Matchday boy gets the kill, as well as, once again, Cajun B.
World Edit here, just a solo long hold from him, and he's got a team up now with Waylander. Waylander going solo through mid, so a real danger here of the bomb being taken down by itself. As Waylander actually makes it work, takes down Config, and pressure being applied to the A bomb site. World Edit makes that frag, makes it work, and we do see now the bomb going to go down here. Cajun has taken a lot of damage trying to resist, but 2 versus 2 here. They need to retake. They've got about 35 seconds to do so, though.
Yeah, Cajun's got a great line here, and he's actually picked up World Edit, who fires one too many times into that smoke and gets greedy. Waylander 2 versus 1. He's got a great spot, though, so this is a very defendable spot. The flash gets him, but the CTs are running out of time. They need to isolate him. They have a good idea of where he is, but that's why that spot's so powerful. He peeks out quickly, gets the first, and we'll get the second. No, Magist Boy able to turn around and get back on the bomb. So you'd think there was just a matter of hiding for the terrorist there after he gets the first kill. But you'd think he can close that out from that position, but he's re-peaked and paid the price. I mean, you can get behind that and look down.
He was always going to have to take those fights, though. The problem was that position is only really good for one frag if you don't have a lot of time to work with. But there was a lot of time that the CTs had to retake there. They were right there when the bomb was planted, so Waylander had to try and defend that for quite a long time, and that didn't really work out for him.
No, you're right, it didn't, and there was a lot of time on the clock, but I think Terrace could have done a better job there of just manipulating his position and choosing when to pop up and take the fight. He just sort of held his line and strafed out there. But unfortunately for Flipside, that doesn't go their way. 7-4 Dignitas, and they're starting to heat up once again. Nice clutch round coming in from them. But look, it'll be Flipside once again slowing it down and working into that dirty water / short area in hopes of getting a pick at B, and that's going to be some damage coming out from Shara onto Config. Not too much though, just a bit of a tickle, and Config will make his way back in towards the B bomb site. Jim, a minute's gone by, and Flipside are basically where they started, apart from being a little bit further towards A, but it won't be the A bomb site this time, it'll be the B bomb site that's the focus of their attack.
And Config's going to play a crucial role in this side defense there. They'll spot out one. Does a lot of damage to one. Not able to find Waylander despite taking him down so low. 16 HP. They're going to hit this B bomb site here, Flipside, and they're going to have to try and make it work. MSL goes down. Blade, sharp work from him, but SMF holding strong from the troll bridge. Does take down Shara, and now 3 versus 3 retake. The grenade bowls out Waylander. Blade takes down SMF. Markelov takes down Cajun, and it's all to do here for Magist Boy. He's taken a lot of damage. They know his position, and it's going to be tough for him because I don't feel as though Flipside are going to make the same mistakes they did and peek at him individually.
No, and they'll force Magist Boy away from the B bomb site, so great strategy there from Flipside. Just holding it up for quite a while, but also then executing on that B bomb site. And for me, they've looked a lot better going towards B. Those entry flashes are really working well. They're getting good penetration into the bomb site. They're able to focus down certain areas. Like they've done a great job of isolating the barrels player and then taking the fight at pit, not just trying to fight everyone at once. Whereas when they're going towards the A bomb site, it feels as though they're just getting picked off and they're never even getting there. So maybe another B hit from here will be good for Flipside.
That would have been a completely different round, though, if Config would have gotten that second frag onto Waylander. He did a lot of damage to him, but it meant that Flipside maintained that man advantage going into the site. So he was actually able then to go on to get another frag. So unfortunate there for Dignitas, but that's the way the cookie crumbled.
It is, and Magist Boy moves rapidly towards mid, and Waylander goes down, gets melted by that skinny M4A1S. It's a boost here for the rest of the team Dignitas. They've got pistols and no armor, so not much investment at all. But they've gone for the triple boost here in the ABC area over the top. And they're looking into short. So nice ingenuity, as you said before, there from the Team Dignitas guys. But Flipside here, holding steady and just trying to find that rifle now after it's got a kill and disappeared back into the wilderness.
Yeah, that one is gone for the moment, but World Edit making his way through the bathrooms. We do see Magisk Boy also solo holding long here and might be able to catch out Blade with that grenade out. Timing works out perfectly for him there as he does take him down. And now the bomb has been felled, so Magisk Boy has info on that. And World Edit gets the spot but doesn't get the frag. And now they reclaim that. Shara taking down Magisk Boy. Great work there, isolating him. He was away from support. And now Markelov takes down Cajun as well. So it's going to be tough now for Dignitas as they only have 3 pistols to try and retake what looks to be, hold, should I say, what looks to be an A hit.
Yeah, and they won't have fortune in their favour. Markelov getting the triple for the round, but lots of damage can be done here by SMF. This is turning really hairy really quickly here. SMF getting the first, needs to get the second. He does the last bullet in the clip and he knows the whereabouts of the third, but he can't get World at it. Nevertheless, a really expensive eco round there for the Flipside guys. And the only saving grace is that World at it kept the AWP.
Well, he's done enough damage there to the economy. You can see Waylander and Blade at $3,250 and $3,650 respectively. And that is a round win bonus that does not cover their losses at all. In fact, they're still in spawn deciding what on earth to buy. So they've actually managed to juggle their money and drop an AK for Waylander. But Blade has had to go with that Galil.
Certainly has, and shouldn't bother him too much though. 6 rounds on the board here for Flipside. They've already managed to put together a decent half. They won't be completely shattered moving into their CT side, but they will know what's in store for them when Dignitas do come onto the side of things. So Flipside here need at least 1 more, hopefully 2 for their sake, and then they'll be able to try and defend the oncoming slaughter that will be the Dignitas T side, execute on B and A. It's pretty intense. And hopefully for Flipside, as I said, they can get a few more rounds to make this a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, just to remind people too, this was Dignitas' map pick, so Cobble was a blowout in terms of Dignitas just mashing Flipside, but so this is Dignitas' pick now. Double or pick at long. Cajun picks up World Edit. There was no one to jump across for World Edit, unfortunately, so nothing to bait out that shot. He just simply had to hit his mark.
This is the situation all over again from Cobble. It was Flipside tactics sending that AWP at B and it working for them, right? They then mysteriously changed the AWP back to A on Cobble and it failed them. They literally have focused down B 2 or 3 times in success, and where they failed is walking out long and A every time, and they seem to be going back to things that just don't suit them at times. They're not playing to their strengths, which is that late round, you know, heavy amounts of teamwork, execute style, not the slow pick and roll style, which is exactly what Dignitas love to do, and they're playing their game.
Blade was so far ahead of his teammates there as he entered the site, and Magisk Boy and MSL cleaning up, so yeah, the lack of utility late round is really what hurt Flipside in that instance. 8-6 to score. They're buying into this, obviously it's the last round of the half, but their weaponry is going to be, well, what I'd term as suboptimal. They've got the Tech 9s. They've at least got some utility, so they have some options to work with in terms of strategy, but for the large part, Dignitas have done a great job of actually moving things around, particularly Cajun B, who now has a scout. That AWP has kept Flipside guessing round to round.
Certainly has, and Flipside here will have a non-advantageous buy, but that could be neutralized by the fact that Markelov's got himself an M4 very early on in the piece. So he might have to get that one to a teammate or keep that one for himself. Either way, it's a definite advantage for Markelov to have that weapon in hand. Things going well for Flipside right now, Jim, not just in this round, but in the game so far. 6 they'd be very happy with on their T side, given that this is Dignitas' map pick. And they didn't perform particularly well on their own map pick of Cobble. So nice bounce back first half in this second match in the series. But, Jim, it is a matter of 30 rounds here, not just being able to play well for 1 half, or a few rounds here and there.
So I think the timing gods are going to work against Cajun B here. He actually does manage to escape, but MSL finds a frag onto Blade. So the man advantage that they did have has been lost. Shara does his best to get that back. In fact, finding a double with that Tech 9. So this is where it gets difficult for Dignitas. They have to hold this bomb site, and Config took a lot of damage in getting that frag. So he can't hold from the CT stairs anymore. And it's a 2 versus 2 now. But Markelov and World Edit are tagged down quite a bit. So this is an interesting scenario unfolding.
Yeah, SMF going to play a huge role here. You can see how far World Edit has gone. And he's actually on the rotate. So he's going to come back through toilets if this can be sustained. But fortunately for the CT, he's got a Molotov off there. And that'll drag World Edit out into the open. World Edit's got a lovely angle and he'll take it too. That's a great skirmish there from Flipside. Shara in particular was able to get that double Tech 9 kill into the bomb site. And that was really made the difference. So 8 rounds go the way of Dignitas, 7 to Flipside, which they'll be quite content with, I should think, moving into the CT side of things. Maybe even an upset on the cards here after I personally thought this one would be a no contest.
Yeah, look, I definitely thought the way that Flipside were playing in that first map wasn't up to par. It was their map pick, and they certainly didn't have any fluidity in executing anything as struggling CT side. Their teamwork wasn't on point. Their rotations were just being completely worked by Dignitas, and Dignitas looked like the better unit. Looked like they were playing better on the day, but you know, come Overpass, it's been a different story. Flipside have actually had a little bit more of a game plan, which was interesting because the map picks wouldn't indicate that.
I'm just concerned for Flipside because I saw how Cobble unfolded, and for me, you know, when we talk about the similarities between Mirage and Cache, I see the same similarities between Cobble and Overpass. Lots of distance, quick rotates for the CTs between the bomb sites through a main connector area. Lots of different options for the terrorists to hold back and play defensive and methodically work the map. Side corridors, all that different. The makeup of the map is very similar. And the way that Dignitas played their T-side on Cobble makes me think that if Overpass is their map pick, that they might have a very similar structure in place on this map. And that's basically the anti-Flipside tactics style. Slow, methodical, and anti-aggressive, which is how F3 get a lot of their rounds, with Markelov and World Edit being aggressive.
Yeah, flip the script. But
yeah,
look, I agree. The only difference for me in the map is that main contest area, that drop room, which really holds, I guess, that sway and balance on the map. It does favour the Ts, whereas on Overpass, it's a little bit more CT-sided because the CTs can take control of connector first. But for me, it is similarly structured. I guess that's probably a fair comparison to make. I think, though, just the difference in the balance of the map is slightly more CT favoured than Cobble is at the moment.
No, I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you that the maps may not be, you know, weighted the same way in terms of the actual siding of who wins more rounds, but the generic outlay of the map and the components within it are quite similar in essence. And if you're good on one, you're generally good on the other. It's the same as Mirage and Cache, and you know, Dust 2 is in a league of its own in terms of, you know, the way it's structured.
Dust 2 is its own entity.
Dust 2 is its own beast. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Flipside can hold on here. And the pistol for them, as always, will be huge. It's just a matter of, can they stay focused? For me, Flipside look like a kind of team that when they look good, they look really good. And it looks, you know, superb and really well orchestrated. And then when they go off the boil a bit, they look really bad. So it is sort of an up and down style team. And yeah, they can go up and down, which is concerning because Dignitas seem to be that team that just sort of keeps peppering away at the default and doing the little things right.
To me, they remind me of McDonald's chips. They're good when they're hot, terrible when they're cold. They're absolutely atrocious. Unfortunately, though, I guess the downfall in that comparison is McDonald's chips don't generally fluctuate within the same space of time, so they don't go from being cold to hot to cold.
No.
They just gradually...
You could microwave them.
True, but they're never as good the second time.
No, that's right. So, yeah. Flipside tactics. McDonald's French fries. The comparison has been made.
Yeah, or Macca's if you're here in Australia.
Macca's. If you're a solid Aussie bloke, you eat Macca's.
Speaking of which, it's 4:45 a.m. here local time in Australia, and that means the breakfast menu is... very, very much alive. 4:30 a.m. I believe it starts.
You're living in the past, bro. Macca's 24-hour breakfast.
Okay.
24-hour breakfast for McDonald's here in Brisbane.
Okay. Well, I do come from the sticks, I guess.
Is it? I mean, it's probably bad that I know that, but still. I could always go a McMuffin in any hour of the day.
We know what we're doing in our break.
We do love getting up in these early morning games for the European and North American Counter-Strike. So we've done obviously Counterpit before in the European stakes, and we've also worked with ESL and IEM in the past. But bringing a league like this to the English-speaking countries around the world, I know there's many streams that have these games on now with the globalization of the game and the growth of gaming in general, but Counter-Strike in particular. It's fantastic that we can get involved from Brisbane, Australia, and bring the action from all the way on the other side of the world to all the CSGO fans out there. So it's a privilege to be working with such an amazing group of admins, people, and network. But hope you guys are all enjoying the cast and also the CSGO action here with Dignitas and Flipside. Not sure what the delay is. I think it's one bathroom break for Flipside Tactics. So one of their players has just run off to the bathroom. And I think we might just come back to the desk for a moment, so we don't have to watch these guys repeatedly kill each other and spawn over and over again. As much fun as watching that is, maybe it's more enjoyable watching us, maybe it's not. Who knows?
Well, look, even the warm-up Counter-Strikes of a high level compared to what we're used to. But either way,
speak for yourself.
Some of us lived our lives warmed up.
We're always on point with our aim. I'm actually going to throw that challenge. Any caster duo out there who wants to take us on in a 2 versus 2, we throw out the challenge. An open challenge to any casters out there who want to take us on. It must be LAN, though. Must be LAN. And it also must be a stage match.
Does that one go out to Room on Fire?
Definitely goes out to Room on Fire. I'll challenge us as a caster duo. I'll challenge any guys out there. Moses, the works.
Yeah, bring it on, guys.
We might have to discredit a few of the ex-players that have found their way onto the commentary panels across the world, but no, the offer stands. Any current caster or analyst who wants to go up against me and Jim anytime, any place, as now Dignitas are going to force this monster push here, and that's great stuff. Rodney Markolov goes down, melted straight away by that Glock. Magisk Boy gets the second kill and the third here for Dignitas, and their show of strength continues. They will pick up a triple kill to start the round, maybe even a fourth. No, Waylander replies, but Config already on to Shara as well. So this is going to be a pretty difficult prospect here for Waylander.
It's a tough situation for him to be in, and he needs to find that first frag, and making it difficult for him here. You can see that was a great little crossfire there from Dignitas, and it ends up being the pistol round their way. So a fast B approach is the successful one. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Back onto that point of that 2 versus 2. Just remember who taught JKS everything he knew.
Yep, you're listening to him right now. Big shout out to the guys from Renegades and also Winterfox, who will be having the delightful ESL to cast later on in the afternoon here in Australia potentially. But right now, guys, focusing in on this Dignitas Flipside Tactics game. Dignitas taking map 1 in dominant fashion. It was Flipside Tactics map pick on Cobble. Dignitas gave them the business, and now Dignitas going about the duties of securing their map pick, which has been Overpass, and a surprisingly good showing from Flipside, you should say, in the first half, Jim, but they'll need to continue to work hard in the second half to make this game a close one, because the Dignitas boys are very, very T-sided.
They are. They're very much composed on their T side. You can see how passive they're playing at the moment. They were doing a similar job actually on their T side of Cobble, so it's not surprising to see them just holding back, waiting out CT aggression. They know that there's a potential buyout from pistols from a Flipside perspective, and they're grouped up and they're ready to make those trades here, with the exception being the outlier in SMF. So they've just left him in that solo role. Obviously he's subbing in for Rubinho if you are only just joining us, so a different face, but they're all grouping up towards the speed bomb site here, and that's where they're going to put a lot of the pressure. 40 seconds left. Shara on point.
Yeah, Shara might actually get one here as he runs around the corner, gets one. He could get second. He doesn't. Magisk Boy and MSL firing well onto there, and the spray transfer from Config is insane. Awesome. I mean, they know they're just eco, and it's not kosher to get excited about the eco frags, but head armor or no head armor, gun or no gun, that was a sweet transfer there from Config.
Reminds me of our 2v2 form.
Certainly does. I mean, I'm not going to say which one of us would have the equivalent spray transfer of config. I'm certainly not going to take credit for that, because if this ever has to happen and people have to watch, I don't want to be responsible for telling people that I have 6 spray transfer.
The only good sprays you're responsible for are those that come out of your mouth.
Yeah, good verbal spray every once in a while is what I'm more proficient at. But right now, Dignitas are looking very, very comfortable, Jim. Just going about their business, so slow and methodical through these anti-ecos. They remind me a little bit, and I know this is a weird sort of comparison to make, but they remind me a lot of the San Antonio Spurs when they play T-side.
Okay.
So you've lost it. He's laughing at me. So the reason they remind me of the San Antonio Spurs is they're very slow, they're methodical, they get all their teammates involved. The offense doesn't just run through one player. It's a multifaceted offense whereby the star player, quote unquote, is very unselfish. And I think that the slow, methodical, unselfish way that they play T-side reminds me of the San Antonio Spurs.
So who's Paddy Mills?
Paddy Mills isn't in the starting 5 for the San Antonio Spurs.
But he was.
No, he was never in the starting 5. Tony Parker is the starting point guard for the San Antonio Spurs.
I just wanted an Aussie in there somewhere.
Unfortunately, we don't play basketball as well as other countries. Ben Simmons is coming out of the draft, though, for those of you who do follow the NBA. And he's going to be a very exciting prospect. But digress back to the Counter-Strike side of things. Team Dignitas here, just working their way through these ecos. And it is great fun commentating Dignitas, because you do get a lot of time to sort of get off topic while these rounds are finishing themselves off, because the outcome has already been decided for quite some time. Flipside have no intention of going for this. They're just trying to save that AK, and the Dignitas guys have no interest in really chasing for this kill because they're playing disciplined Counter-Strike. So at the end of the day, just a bit of downtime here.
Yeah, they're safe as houses on their anti-ecos, aren't they? They're very much grouped up. They're not taking too many risks early on. They're not overcommitting themselves to sites. They're not taking individual battles if they don't need to. So I think that the comparison is quite fair. Obviously, the Spurs one was a bit of a reach, but we'll leave that one alone.
Reach is a foul. Just to let you know that too. There's a lot of similarities between basketball and Counter-Strike. That's the way that my brain works. I love both. I love both of those sports. I love Counter-Strike and I love basketball, and they have a lot of similarities. I'll do a VOD on it later, but we'll get there. KGB now with his mate Config coming through the monster tunnel, and they will get hit by a grenade, but it won't be enough to stop their progression. Shara's AK wall though for MSL. He gets a double before Config trades away, and he unfortunately the reload there for Config coming out, and he can't fire away onto the player at the bridge there. It would be Blade, but the grenades are pretty fruitful here for Config as he looks around and tries to get that spray kill to go, and the bomb will get planted. So great stuff here from Config, but it's all about world edit and that headshot here as we look at this 2 versus 2, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Make that 1 versus 1. World edit versus Magisboy, and the trading's too good. Action everywhere there, Jim, from the minute that they hit the monster tunnel to right at the end there. All 10 players fighting.
And again, on that first gun round, on their T side, we see Dignitas has actually changed the pace. They did the same thing on Cobble, funnily enough, that first gun round. And they went straight for the B side. So it's caught Flipside completely off guard twice now on those first gun rounds. So, look, they've put Flipside onto pistols. Again, World Edit has actually got a Zeus. So this is something that they're persisting with across the different maps. But look at the aggression coming out from the CTs here towards mid. You've got World Edit playing in a very forward position there with that Zeus, looking to try and just steal away some weaponry. Now he's back down towards the mid connector, so if they're not careful and aren't quick on the trigger, he could actually, take those guns away from him.
I'm not sure why Shara's taking this gun battle, but he's winning it nonetheless, and he gets SMF down to 13 HP and will try and close him down, and he in fact does. So Shara, the shining light there for F3 in this round, but Magisboy will take care of business there. Blade runs out, gets the first, will get traded out though. MSL coming around the backside of that pillar. World Edit will go up the ladder, but I think that they've heard him come up the ladder, so Magisboy all over that. He's just going to watch and take him down, although the bink there straight away from World Edit as KGB takes down Waylander.
Well did it. It's just going to change his position up now and try and do something else. But you can see that it is actually Markolov in a great position there. He does see the shadow first, but doesn't actually hit the trigger or the head. And well did it now. A lonely figure by himself through the tunnels here, as he's persisting with this Zeus, isn't he?
He certainly is. He wants the happy noise.
The happy noise.
He wants the noise of the guy getting tased. It's hilarious. I respect this play. This is a man's play. Walking into a loaded bomb site, trying to defuse with nothing but a taser. Yes! Well did it. That was sick. That's a man's frag.
Oh, well, okay.
Get his James Brown on. It's a man's world. Runs in there with the taser. Gets the frag. Ah!
That's what I was trying to bait out the sound.
Love it. It's crazy.
He
13.
did so well.
13. I've been tased a lot, unfortunately, which doesn't bode well for our 2 versus 2 competition, but nonetheless, it is an enjoyable sound. As,
No tasers allowed.
no tasers in the 2v2. Dignitas here, 13-7. Doing a really good job controlling the pace in this game in the second half. Going about their methodical T-side as they always do with just seemingly endless precision. They never really are out of position covering for frags or trying to chase those eco kills. They're just so disciplined and they're really into the team stuff, which is great. And it'll bode well for them playing against the very, very top opposition. I think that they've got the strategy there. The problem when they start running into those sort of top 5 to 10 teams will be the aim on aim sort of dueling that they do, and they don't quite measure up there just yet, Dignitas, but you know, look, they're coming, and if they keep playing this style and keep grinding out, they're going to be very formidable regardless. A very good upset team on a world stage.
Speaking of the world edit is looking for that second frag. Gets an opportunity to hit it, but unfortunately Config is way too quick on the trigger there. That shoulder peek gets him a frag. Baits out the shot from World Edit, and you can see now the adjustment here from Flipside. They've actually left 2 on this B bomb site, and that's exactly where Dignitas are. And now Shara's going to need to do some more work here. He's able to find one, do a lot of damage again to Magisk Boy. He's taken 2.5 of the round. And look, that may bode really well for them as they hit this bomb site. Blade finds one, but now 1 versus 1 Waylander on Config. Config's HP could be a massive factor here. 15 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, he's going to have to commit to the plant, but he's gone for the wide sandbag plant, and that's going to be problematic because Waylander's going to be able to isolate him straight away. No ability to juke around those bomb site crates after the post plant for Config, and that's a great round there from Waylander. He picks up the kill and the defuse and the AWP. So plenty going on there for Waylander as he picks up more than most people do in their lifetimes in 1 round.
The scavenger hunt is successful.
Correct.
So Flipside now, as a result, will actually be able to put an AWP back in World Edit's hands, and he was actually instrumental. He got one of the opening picks in that map, or in that round, sorry. And look, it set them up well, but it was really the work from Shara there, sitting at that B bomb site, watching the tunnel. But
he's very quietly got himself up to 22 kills, has Shara. He hasn't had that amazing round, apart from the last round of the Terrorist half. That Tech 9 was great, but he's just battled away on this CT side and got a lot done for his team. And that's going to be World Edit and Markolov opening up for their team. It's now 2 versus 1. Make that a 3 versus 1 for Magisk Boy here, and he's caught really in a tough spot. He gets the first though. Then he gets the second, he doesn't. I thought Waylander was going to go down there, but he picks up his second clutch kill in as many rounds. That's a great hold there from Shara at the start. He does a lot of damage. World Edit chipping in there too, and 13 rounds.
that shot from World Edit as he got up over those sandbags, he never stopped it once then, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, really sharp reflexes there from World Edit. You kind of expect those shots to be hit. We were talking about this the other day as well, when the quality of AWPers that we see floating around, it's kind of like when you get spoiled with International Counter-Strike, and I'm sure all the fans out there can relate. When you get spoiled by the Kenny S's of the world, and then you look back into Guardians, and you know, it's just so many top quality AWPers. When you go to AWP yourself, it's shattering when you miss. Just those easy shots, because you're like, ah, they look so easy. So easy, but look, the moment. Dignitas struggling here, but they're going to punch pretty well, actually, through this B defense. Blade picks up a Molotov kill, but that's going to be a lot of pressure for Waylander and, well, they'd have to deal with, because those kills came out very, very smartly there. And a good change of pace from Dignitas. They went from that, I guess, slow, more methodical pace to a couple of fast rounds in a row. Now, they haven't won them yet, but they're certainly in good position to as well. Then it tries to scope down onto the bomb site. Waylander understands where one of the terrorists is, but can't really find an angle. A couple of smokes coming out here. Waylander picks up one, so this is going well. Magisk Boy does trade back onto World Edit now, so 2 versus 1, and I think the defuse is going to come straight in here. He's trying to find the bomb frantically, but I don't think he can, and Magisk Boy will find Waylander. It's the last kill of the round, and 14 rounds to 9. All of a sudden, Flipside Tactics are in a bit of a financial hole.
Yeah, they've been reset here, and that's not good for their economy, because he's Shara, $1,650. It's tough for him, and they're only going to be able to buy pistols here. It's going to mean that they potentially will surrender that match point quite easily. And the question is, will Dignitas recognize this and just try and brute force an area of the map, realizing that their opposition don't actually have a full complement?
Well, it's a great read regardless here from Dignitas, because they're moving very, very rapidly towards the A side of things. And the B bomb site is the loaded gun here for Flipside Tactics. So Dignitas might actually get all the way into A here before the boys from Flipside can get back in. And MSL, in fact, will beat them to the punch, and that will cost them dearly. Well, that is going down with Markelov straight away to Config and Magisk. And that's all over bar the shouting now.
Yeah, MSL realizing that they would be on eco in that round at Mac 10. Doing all the damage there, as we do see now. Magisk Boy find Blade. It's all to do for Shara. He's a long way from action. He's over at the fountain, throwing the coin into the wishing well, hoping to do better this round. But you can see SMF does have that angle covered. Doesn't actually do a lot of damage in that instance. Shara gets away with that frag, but will not be able to collect the gun.
Yeah, it was the first time that SMS has really looked like a substitute player in the entire 2-map series. So he's done a really great job actually coming in for the Rubino and doing a great job there.
Yeah, he's done a reasonable job, and you wouldn't... I mean, when we looked at the lineups there, we sort of said, oh, that's a bit of an upset potentially for Dignitas, having lost one of their mainstays. Rubino is actually quite a proficient fragger. SMF, we thought initially he wasn't going to be able to sort of match that level. Whilst he probably hasn't, he's still done an admirable job for them, and has certainly served the purpose, and they've been able to get past Flipside Tactics. If they close this one out, I don't want to commentate or curse it, but if they close this one out, they've been able to get past them quite comfortably.
Yeah, great job there from SMF, providing that replacement player, as you said, and now Dignitas look to continue their form, and they're going to move swiftly towards this A bomb site once again. Waylander and co are going to be pushed back. Blade is going to get a kill. No, Magisk Boy finds the famous player there for Flipside, and this is going to be a pretty brutal onslaught here. Waylander moving through the smoke. That's a good option, but he doesn't quite get the kill, and now Jim 3 versus 4 to save the game for Flipside.
World Edit posted up here at Optimus Prime. He's burning alive, unfortunately, does go down, and now it's a 1 versus 4 situation here for Markelov. And he needs to wind back the clock and enable him to take it to another round for Flipside. But you can see they know exactly where he is. His options are limited. 48 HP. It's going to be tough for him because all members of Dignitas are ready.
Yeah, 3 versus 1 here. Markelov trying to save this one. Can't even get the second kill. Magisk Boy takes him out. And that will be the series for Dignitas. Lovely play there on their map choice. They started slow, and Flipside did a really great job of controlling the early game there. They won the pistol, they pushed through. They got to about 5 rounds on their T side before they started to struggle. They did eventually get 7.5, which was a great result for them, but then only winning the 2 CT rounds was problematic, obviously, but it was going to be really difficult for them after the way that Dignitas transition from Cobble was going to be, like, I just saw the writing on the wall really early, and yeah, Flipside not able to deliver on their CT side.
Yeah, unfortunately that was the case, and they fell quite convincingly there across the 2 maps, so Dignitas picking up maximum points from that encounter here in the ESL Pro League Season 4, European Division. It is Matchday 7, so we still have some more action coming up just yet with some more teams yet to fight it out, but I think that is going to be it for Flipside at the moment. Our next matchup is going to be a tantalising one, Peter. It's an interesting, that's for sure.
Certainly is. It'll be Astralis versus Envy. What a cracker. What an absolute cracker.
It's it's going to be a clash of the Titans here, and I'm really keen to see how the French side do.
Well, no, Titans not playing. It's Envy playing.
I said it's going to be a clash of the Titans, two big teams.
No, and I was trying to make a joke. That's kind of how this thing works.
You should stop making jokes.
Wow. Yes, I should. Cold-blooded.
Either way, guys, we're going to be back very, very shortly after a quick break. And don't go anywhere. Some fantastic CSGO action coming up very soon here in the ESL Pro League.